Same mother, same father, same bloodline, and still I don't owe my bulldog sister a single thing. Whoever old man you chasing, that's your business. I made it out. I climbed alone. I don't have to carry nobody. Not my sister, not even my own mother. She should have had her life together before my name meant anything. Don't push that weight onto me. Raising me was your job, not my lifelong debt. Then came the line that froze the internet mid-scroll. Whoever catches Charleston White, knocks him out cold and snatches his phone, I'll pay $3,500 cash, call my bluff. Catch him slipping, talking on that phone. Wait, stop. Run that back. Did she really just place a public bounty on a man? Face visible, voice clear, and broadcast it to the entire world. $3,500. That's the number Victoria Wood, better known as GloRilla, sister of GloRilla, stamped onto Charleston White's safety. Filmed, uploaded, shared at viral speed. And the timeline treated it like entertainment memes, reactions. Laughter, another episode in the endless spectacle of internet beef. But while everyone else was laughing, clipping, Charleston White was already dialing his attorney. What follows isn't just drama. It's escalation, the feud, the bounty, the legal trap no one saw forming. And what happens when social media bravado collides with real-world consequences? Because before you can grasp the danger of that moment, you have to understand the man at its center. Charleston White wasn't raised in the chaos people imagine. He came up in suburban Fort Worth, Texas, structured home, working mother, grandfather's barbershop, a tight family network. Yet beneath that stability was a childhood most never hear about. Years inside hospitals, surgeries, isolation, survival. By 12, when freedom finally appeared, the world rushed in and everything changed. He stepped onto stand-up stages. He toured under Live Nation lights. He financed his own 52-week run, city after city, risk after risk. He held a Las Vegas residency. Brand partnerships followed. Boxing management deals stacked up. Television credits rolled, including a show titled Could Have Been Love. This isn't a man who accidentally wanders into conflict. This is someone who has spent decades studying consequences, legal, social, and spiritual, until they became instinct. So when a public bounty landed on his head and people assumed he would either hide or rant online and move on, they misunderstood Charleston White completely. To understand how this detonated, you have to rewind to a podcast, a single opinion, a conversation. Charleston White appeared on Talks with AJ, a Miami-based show. The host raised a trending controversy. GloRilla's sister accusing her of success without family support. The host asked directly what he thought. Charleston White assumed they were half-siblings. The host corrected him. Same parents. And Charleston White doubled down. He didn't know a sister or even a mother. Lifelong repayment for simply existing. Don't weaponize family obligation, he argued. Raising a child is a parent's duty, not a debt contract. Pause there. Strip away the noise. What he delivered wasn't a threat. It wasn't aimed at GloRilla personally, nor at GloRilla individually. It was commentary, a blunt rejection of the so-called black tax. It's the expectation that one person's success automatically finances an entire circle. Crude, yes. Offensive to some, absolutely. But still an opinion spoken by the same man who, minutes earlier in that very interview, described buying homes and cars for relatives before purchasing anything for himself. That contradiction matters. Because Victoria Wood GloRilla didn't answer with words. She answered with a bounty. She saw the clip explode across timelines, millions of views, shares multiplying, and she didn't pull it down. She let it breathe, grow, spread. Now, let's be honest, because this story isn't blind loyalty to Charleston White. His first public reaction was chaotic, volatile, impossible to ignore. He went live with weapons in frame, invoked George Zimmerman, and made disturbing claims about Trayvon Martin, saying the teenager deserved his fate. Those words ignited immediate outrage. He swung what viewers called a sword, threatened violence, spoke recklessly about harming women and disabled people. The internet fractured overnight. Half believed he'd unraveled completely. The other half insisted it was calculated theater. Either way, attention shifted. Sympathy he might have held in the bounty situation blurred. Beneath the spectacle of his own escalation, and some criticism was justified, the Trayvon Martin remarks crossed a needless, painful line. A grieving family was dragged into a feud they had nothing to do with. People condemning that weren't wrong. But while feeds filled with outrage and clips of chaos, something quieter and far more consequential unfolded off camera. Behind the noise, Charleston White moved strategically. While audiences watched volatility, he was contacting his agency, his attorney, and the Miami Police Department. A formal report was filed. A case number issued. Prosecutors were briefed. Investigators reviewed GloRilla's bounty video and heard explicit solicitation of violence against a named individual for payment. Then Charleston White returned online, not raging, but deliberate. He repeated a warning 4 times. The police are involved. That wasn't fear. That was documentation. Every word preserved evidence. And when GloRilla, after knowing charges were possible, posted again confirming the bounty still stood, the stakes shifted. Charleston White answered coldly, "You just convicted yourself. For anyone convinced Charleston White is bluffing, understand who he has always claimed to be." On that same Talks with a J interview, he openly called himself a snitch since childhood, not as shame, but identity. He said deception felt weak to him. Truth mandatory, even when truth cost him everything. And it has. After one controversial appearance, he lost over a dozen booked shows. Contracts collapsed. His agency scrambled to contain backlash. Platforms distanced themselves. Still, he didn't retract, didn't soften, didn't disappear. This is not a man who files police paperwork for optics and quietly retreats. Return to that interview, because buried inside it is an irony almost cruel in its symmetry. The very conversation GloRilla interpreted as hostility toward. GloRilla's family also contained this confession from Charleston White. He had already bought homes and cars for relatives before securing anything for himself. Mother housed. Sister financed. Cousins, children, extended family, all provided for. He said he could have owned multiple mansions, but chose instead to give everything to the people he loved first. That generosity, he described, felt like personal luxury. So the man labeled anti-family, the one targeted with a bounty, was the same man who claimed he sacrificed wealth for relatives. His argument was never against helping loved ones. It was against obligation, being weaponized against success becoming communal entitlement. Yet GloRilla, publicly accusing GloRilla of insufficient loyalty, responded by encouraging violence against someone discussing that very pressure from the outside. The contradiction is stark. Anger over family support transformed into a criminal threat to grasp why. Charleston White chose law over retaliation. The filings, the statements, the calm public appearances, you have to grasp his mindset. He once said he becomes whatever achieves the outcome he wants, and he believes systems work. In today's digital world, online beef isn't just spectacle anymore. And too many people with platforms, massive audiences, viral reach, cultural influence still don't grasp where performance ends and crime begins. Offering money for someone's assault is not clout. It is not edgy commentary. It is not timeline entertainment. It is a criminal solicitation. And the fact it happens on Instagram, TikTok, or any digital stage doesn't dilute reality. It amplifies it. Every frame archived. Every word timestamped. Every face identifiable. The same algorithm that launched GloRilla's bounty into viral circulation also delivered it directly into the hands of a Miami detective, who, according to Charleston White, reacted with stunned clarity. Because, legally, stripped of noise and context. The video describes textbook solicitation to commit violent robbery. That warning consequences are real. Systems are real. Perception and law are not the same. Has echoed through Charleston White's career. He has long argued that people act on impulse while institutions respond with permanence. In that same podcast, discussing criminal mitigation, he said many lives unravel because no one unlearns what they were taught incorrectly. Perhaps GloRilla never understood that publicly pricing harm at $3,500 constitutes a chargeable offense. Or perhaps she believed rules bent around notoriety. They do not. Here is where things stand. Charleston White has an official police report filed with the Miami Police Department. A case number exists. His legal representation and agency are engaged. Prosecutors have been briefed. After awareness of potential charges, Victoria Wood GloRilla posted again, affirming the bounty, a move his legal team views as recorded intent. Charleston White states he will pursue charges and attend proceedings. Because internet beef fades. Cases do not.